RRSPs, who's really in control of this account? Well, see, there's two different people to this contract. There's you, the hardworking individual, and there's also CRA. So let's compare who does what in this contract. In an RSP, you as the contract holder do quite a few different things. You provide the deposits over your lifetime. Maybe your company or your group match pitches in as well. You take on all the risk, whether you decide to invest in a GIC or in a high interest savings or all stocks, whatever it might be, you are taking on the risk of that money, either that it has the volatility of the markets or that maybe it doesn't keep up with inflation. You take on all of that risk. You also pay the fees. No matter where you are, there are some fees associated with proper management. Even the banks collect fees on your savings, on your GICs. So along the way, you are paying these fees over your lifetime. And at the end of the day, when you go to take it out, you are paying the taxes. So in that relationship, what does CRA do, or the Canada Revenue Agency? Well, they don't put any money in. They don't put any deposits in. That's all on you. They take on none of the risk. None of the risk is associated to them. They have no say. They don't really care, to be honest, as to what you invested in. They don't pay any of the fees. However, they decide how much tax you will pay when you take it out. It's all dependent on what the tax rates of the day are. And who's to say they couldn't change with the rules of those taxes on those RRSPs? They decide when you can take it out. While it is true you can take it out whenever you want, and just as long as you pay the tax bill, there will also come a point in your life where you will be required to withdraw money from these RRSPs. Now, that may not seem like a big deal, but if you've accumulated enough assets in that RRSP, it could become a very big tax burden, and you could end up paying taxes on money that you had no intention of actually using for lifestyle. Finally, they also decide how much your family keeps when you're no longer here. You see, when you have an RSP, in the event of death, it's deemed as though you spent the entire thing that year. So if you pass away at the end of the year and all of a sudden you also had, $100,000, $200,000 of income that year, plus it's as though you spent the entire RSP portfolio, you may be shocked to understand and to find that your family is actually only getting half, if not less, of that portfolio in the event of death. And you might say, okay, but it will be transferred to my spouse. Yep. And then they have to pay taxes because there's no one to income split with at that point. So guess what? They're in a higher tax bracket anyhow. So here's the thing. Who's really in control of these RRSPs? Even if you are in a lower tax bracket in retirement, are you willing to give up the control? If this was any other business deal, you're going into business to buy a franchise or for any other reason, would you take this deal? Would you take on all the risk, all the fees, all of the deposits? You put all the skin in the game, but someone else makes all the rules. Nope, you probably wouldn't. And that's the reality of an RRSP.